Jared Fogle got a beatdown, and it is not unexpected, I should say. You know he is in prison for all sorts of bad things involving
child molestation.
And
child prostitution.
It appears that somebody got to him and started a fist fight, and it raises a lot of issues about where he is right now, how he's being protected. Are the guards kind of allowing...
Is he being protected?
And is he being protected?
And now we know how his fellow inmates feel about him. I mean, this is kind of what you thought, the way you thought it would go. Now we know for a fact because we have the details of a fight that went down January 29th at Englewood Prison, and this is in Colorado.
Now, by the way,
it's a low-security prison.
So it's a month and a half ago, and we broke this on the website this morning, and nobody seemed to know about this.
No, it was definitely kept under wraps. But we found out that an inmate there, 60-year-old, by the way.
60 years old. His name is Stephen Nigg, and he attacked Jarrett on the recreation yard, basically. We spoke with
what did he do? He apparently hit him in the face.
Yeah, so he shoved him to the ground and he beat the crap out of him. He hit him in the face with his fist. He caused Jarrett to have a bloody nose, swelling around the face, some scratches. So he put a good hurting on him.
And Gary, I think it's important to say that this was a one-on-one situation where
correct.
It appears Stephen sought out Jared Fogle and had this in mind. This was not like, oh, we were an argument broke out over something. He was
targeting him.
Something tells me Jarrett's trying to keep on his best behavior there around people. So yeah, he was definitely targeted. This guy, so I spoke with the guy's family, and he said that apparently in this prison there are a lot of sexual offenders that go there because they have a certain rehabilitation program for
them. And this is a minimum security prison.
Correct, yeah. So a lot of non-violent criminals are there, and that falls under that in certain cases. So he apparently wanted, Jarrett was like the last straw. He was very upset with all the sexual offenders. Also wanted to, in his own way, seek vigilante justice for the victims in Jarrett's case.
So he's very open about this, and that guy is in solitary confinement. It is interesting, minimum security. This guy is targeting Jared Fogle. So you got to wonder now, what's the drill for the guards there? If these guys, and look, we're not trying to protect child predators, but they're serving time in prison, and at a point they got to have some kind of a drill there that you're not supposed to attack other prisoners.
Yeah, that is definitely a rule and a law that prisoners have to abide by, and there are swift consequences for people that break that law. I mean, this guy has been in the hole for an extended period of time now. Will probably be in there for a lot longer. So I think this prison seems to have more leeway with the inmates than some of the other places, and I think
because it's low security, they probably, because Gary, didn't we in the documents we found out that they actually, Stephen, the guy who attacked Jared Fogle, walked away from, the fight happened, and he walked away. They only caught him on surveillance cameras, how they knew that Stephen was the guy who did it.
So do they have guards watching the recreation area?
There are guards watching, when they're out.
So what were they doing?
I can't speak upon that. I don't know.
See, the reason I'm asking that is,
what's that over there?
Yeah, seriously, the reason I'm asking is Jared Fogle is a high-profile inmate. And everybody in that prison knows who he is and what he did. And so you would think he does become a target. And that's why this is kind of interesting that the guards didn't see it or didn't do anything about it.
And let's be honest, some people are going to say
he deserved it.
He deserved it, and that's the way it's going to be.
Hi, my name is Alinxia America. I'm in Los Angeles. And here's the deal. I don't feel that he should be in high protection. This guy is child molestation. Nobody likes a sex predator. No matter where you're at, why are we protecting this? Maybe he needed a beat down so that he can understand that this is not what you do. You don't mess with a child. He scarred a child for life, yet he only spends 13 years in prison.
Listen, that's a whole other thing. And you're right. When somebody does something like that, what they end up getting is a long prison sentence. Did he get a long enough prison sentence? Maybe not. But that goes to the judge.
That's up to the system.
You don't then equalize justice on the recreation yard at a prison. And to me, that's the problem with this, that if you want to look at all the heinous things various people do in prison, some are really heinous and some aren't, but if you want to start saying, okay, what you did was really heinous, so we're going to beat you up or kill you, you don't want to have that going on in prison. You just don't.